Hello and welcome back to the Fruit of Grisaia. Last time, Yuuji just barely avoided getting a custom-made fanny pack pouch designed by Sachi to originally be a shark, but eventually Yuuji managed to get the design changed into a bush dog. Sachi added rhinestone and made it sparkly, and eventually the pouch ended up in the possession of Makina, to Yuuji's relief. Now, let's continue. When you visit a country where they speak a different language, there's one thing you should always learn first. Namely, the local phrase for thank you, or so my master taught me. Of course, my master was also such a half-assed human being that she usually didn't bother to learn anything else. Get thanks down first, then just make the rest up as you go along. I had plenty of good conversations in America using only thank you, dog, and pencil. When someone's that shamelessly sloppy about life, it's actually kind of charming. The woman had the brains of poultry, but while we're on the subject of English, chicken head is an insult you should usually try to avoid over there. Say that to a woman and you've implied that she spends a lot of time moving her head back and forth like a chicken pecking at feed. Today's supper is fish. You like a fish? Huh? Do I look like a fish? Yes, fish. Are you okay? What you say? Are you okay? Are you okay? Yes, I am okay. Oh jeez, that's tough. You too? Of course not, you bastard! What? Please say again. You know what I'm saying, knock it off. I like fish, I love it. You're a rabbit? The hell are you laughing about anyway? Hey, Amanim. What's up? What exactly are those two doing over there? Oh, it's Professor Makina's remedial class. Remedial class? Remember how Michiru was this close to failing that last English test? That's pretty common. So every once in a while, Makina teaches her for a bit. Makina? Teach? Well, I think I mentioned this before, but Makina lived in America for a while as a kid. The idea of Makina teaching somebody is kind of bizarre. What are you saying? Think the matter over, gentlemen. Listen carefully. Matsushima Michiru is a woman who misreads Chopin as Chopin, while I'm a woman who merely mispronounces animal as animal. Surely no objective observer can deny that I'm the one who should be teaching him. A self-evident truth, is it not? No, I'm certain of it. 'Twas a rhetorical question. And for some reason, I'm talking like a pretentious git. Truly the epitome of annoying. You're saying that yourself. If you're aware, maybe you could just stop? You're awfully full of yourself for someone who can't even pronounce anomalocaris properly. The heck is that? It's the name of the largest animal in existence during the Cambrian period, Makina. Let's see what you got. Anomalocaris. Wrong. Try again. Anomalocaris. Wrong. It's anomalocaris. Once more. Halogen bulb. Halogen bubble. 3 strikes. You're out. Ouchie! What? You can't even handle a halogen bulb? Maki-chan's tongue is short and her head works in a slightly special way, so there are many words she has difficulty pronouncing properly. That ain't right, you know. Don't you underestimate me. You'll be crying in the end. Cargo passenger ferry Mangyong Bong 92. Cargo Nah, shut up, leave me alone! Spare me the temper tantrum. It's probably a side effect of a compression-based mnemonic method. She seems to be storing only the beginning and ending of each word for efficiency, so proper nouns and words with unusual middle syllables give her trouble. Jiru, we continue in the English conversation right now. Oh, pipe down, you don't have to scream, I'm right here. Alright then, the topic of the conversation is Amane. Begin. Her name is Amane. I knows, so what? She is very lovely. That's right. By making her a lover, it's to become happy. Don't know about that. She's a rover of rover. A lover of rubber? If you marry her, it's the mammy of mammy. Huh? Is your mommy a mommy? Yes. Holy shit, quite a family. Try to find your own path, okay?
What good is this doing? This isn't even a conversation. Hey, Amane. Is this really going to help her grades any?
I wonder. Well, it's probably better than nothing, right?
Well, maybe, I guess.
The complete lack of coherent flow to the conversation is part of the problem, but Makina's English is honestly almost as bad as Michiru's. Her pronunciation is comically off, and she mixes in many weird phrases you won't hear over there. They say you shouldn't learn English from a non-native speaker, and this is a good case in point. Well, just get a bit down, and you can make up the rest as you go along, right?
As you go along, eh?
I suppose there are some people out there who can hold an entire conversation using only pencil, dog, and thank you. When it comes to English conversation, might as well just make it up as you go along. I guess that's the extent of our lesson for today. See, this is what I'm talking about. So, that last chapter we had was almost 20 minutes long, and this was a mere 6 minutes. It's really hard to juggle this kind of chapter length, so I try to fit it in with half an hour of recording, but it doesn't always fit. Alright. When you see a maid with her hands empty, call out to her. That's a line from an old movie I saw once. It basically means that a capable maid should be kept busy at all times. Excluding the bridesmaid, whose main responsibility is getting drunk at her friend's wedding, the essence of the maid is service. Her job is to anticipate her employer's actions and needs, then take care of the dirty work in advance. This generally involves tools of some kind, so a maid who isn't carrying anything tends to be an idle, underemployed maid. You can apply the idea to other occupations as well. A good soldier always carries a well-maintained rifle, and a diligent student should always have a reference book or two on their person. But in some cases, the opposite may also be true. As I've just discovered, there are certain maids who catch your attention when their hands are full, rather than empty. The maid in question, Komine Sachi, as of fairly recently my classmate. Now, if it was dark in this hallway, even with Chibi, this would be a relatively scary situation. And that sound would definitely get on your nerves in a way that psychological horrors go to great lengths to make you on edge. Anyway, just yesterday we sat at our desk in the same classroom, pursuing our studies together, and now here she is, walking in my direction, dragging a metal bat roughly across the floor. In this country where guns and bladed weapons are strictly prohibited, this is about as suspicious as it gets. Show this scene to 10,000 Japanese and I think everyone would mistake her for a dangerous person. Of course, I don't actually have any proof that assumption would be a mistake on their part. Maybe she really is planning to burst into someone's room and launch an attack.
So, who's the target?
What? Unable to suppress my doubts, I call out to Sachi with the question foremost in my mind. She turns to face me with a blank expression of confusion. Her nonplussed face is enough to confirm that my worst suspicions were unfounded. My interrogation proceeds to the next logical point of inquiry.
What's that metal bat in your right hand?
It's a Mismu.
No, that's not.
It's a Mismu.
I wasn't asking for the brand, and your pronunciation was fine the first time.
I'm very sorry, I can't quite seem to grasp what you're trying to ask me, Kasami-san.
I just want to know why you have that metal bat in your hand and what you intend to use it for.
Now I see. The nuance of the question eluded me at first. Closing her eyes, she nods in satisfaction at resolving the puzzle. If I was having this conversation with someone from Ichigaya, we would have gotten to this point in 2 seconds or less. Communication between students, as you can see, is a comparatively involved and troublesome process. I retrieved this metal bat from my locker in the classroom at Michiru-sama's request. I'm currently bringing it back to her.
Michiru asked for that? She planning to challenge Sakaki to a duel or something?
I'm afraid I didn't ask. Your position inside the hierarchy of your community is established fairly quickly. For those determined to move up the ladder, single combat is a fairly common means of advancement. Perhaps this is a good opportunity to witness such a moment of struggle.
Mind if I come with you?
I don't think I have any objections, if that's what you would like.
Alright then, let's go.
When we reach Michiru's room, Sachi knocks lightly on the door. What's the password? Mountain. River. Bloomers. Alright. With this brief, cryptic exchange of words, the door swings open. You've done well! In the next moment, a shock of distinctive bleached gold hair springs out toward me.
I don't remember doing anything warranting a hug from you, actually.
Hey! What the heck is Yuuji here? Well, I met Kasami-san on the way here, and when I mentioned I was on my way to your room, he asked if he could come along as well. Why?
Why not? Just felt like seeing you, Michiru.
Aww. Michiru is kind of adorable. Don't tell me you really think that transparent lie is going to work on me. Oh, it didn't work after all. I couldn't quite tell. Your face seemed to indicate otherwise. Sachi, you could have left that alone, okay? Just for future reference. I apologize.
So, what exactly are you planning to use a metal bat for?
Girls have their secrets. That information is off limits to you.
Does a metal bat have any female-specific applications?
Alright, thanks, Sachi. I owe you one for this. Yes. With this exchange, Michiru quickly retreats back into her room and Sachi starts to walk off with a satisfied expression on her face.
Sachi, aren't you interested in what Michiru plans to use that bat for?
It wasn't relevant. My job is simply to deliver the item requested.
I see.
True, demonstrating the discretion to refrain from inquiring into the circumstances of your clients is a vital step toward establishing trusting business relationships. Sachi seems to view her responsibility as a class representative from an admirably professional perspective.
Impressive, Sachi. You've exceeded my expectations again.
Thank you very much. Watching Sachi's face flush slightly red, I continue with my questions.
So, what's next on your schedule?
Next, I was planning to water the flower bed in the courtyard.
Is that also part of your job as a class rep?
It's not an official responsibility, but Principal Tachibana mentioned it would be helpful if I could try to keep the flowers from withering, so...
I see.
Seems that woman's been saving her on labor costs by relying on volunteers for simple maintenance work.
Next time you see the principal getting ready to push work on you, I think you should tell her the following. Come back after you fix that habit of baby talking to your pets.
Certainly.
Also, one more request. Would you mind if I continue observing your work for a while?
Well, I don't have any particular objections, but...
Something the matter?
I suppose I'm concerned that you'll find watching me rather boring, Kasami-san.
No worries on that front. I've already been entertained enough to last me for a while.
Sachi tilts her head to the side in a gesture of pure bewilderment. The more time I spend around this girl, the more I realize she's a natural airhead. The type so oblivious she doesn't even realize she's missing out on everyone else's jokes.
Alright, that's that. Don't mind me, I'll keep out of your way.
Yes. Oh, that's a new transition. Upon entering the courtyard, Sachi immediately begins watering the rows of flowers. If you forget that strange fact that is taking place in a Japanese school, this little scene of a maid caring for the flower beds is truly picturesque.
Are those purple flowers Webenas?
Yes, perennials of the Vivain family. In Japan they are known as Biju Sakura.
You're pretty knowledgeable.
I wouldn't say knowledgeable, but in order to keep the flowers from withering, I did a certain amount of research.
I see, you're a diligent one.
All of a sudden, Sachi stops moving her watering can. She bends down and opens a flower's bulb with her hand, carefully examining it.
Something wrong?
The petals on this one are turning white. Crouching down next to her to take a look, I quickly understand why she's so concerned. One of the flower's petals is almost entirely covered in white, as if someone dusted it with powder.
Looks like flower disease.
At my words, Sachi looks at me with eyes full of anticipation.
Sorry, but that doesn't mean it's become edible. It's more commonly known as powdery mildew disease. You see it a lot when you're growing wheat or grapes.
Oh, I see.
It's caused by a parasitic fungus, so the most effective response would probably be using chemical fungicides on the affected plants.
Chemical fungicides?
If you ask the principal, I'm sure she'll get some for you. What is it? Something on your mind?
I was just thinking that you're fairly knowledgeable about flowers yourself, Kasami-san.
Not in particular. Yes, I'm actually pretty similar to you in that respect. Sachi, somebody told me to read books, and I've just been following those orders. After a while, a lot of random trivia just accumulated in my head. It does come in handy ever so often.
Sachi doesn't respond to my words verbally, but her smile seems slightly brighter than usual.
So, where are we headed next?
The bathroom.
That's so.
Yes. The conversation comes to an abrupt end. We walk on in silence. After a little while, we arrive in front of the girls' bathroom.
Hey, Sachi, mind if I stop you for a second here?
What can I do for you?
If we take another step forward here, I'm going to be trespassing in the girls' bathroom.
So it would appear, yes.
And you don't have a problem with that?
Well, I'm not sure if my feelings on the matter are the most relevant consideration. If one of the others were to see you in a place like this, I'm afraid their level of trust toward you would likely take a severe turn for the worse. Seems she at least understands that a man entering a female restroom is not generally considered acceptable.
So, next up is cleaning the grand bathroom.
Yes, it's very rare for anyone to enter the bath at this time, so I typically give it a quick cleaning.
You're planning to do it by yourself today as usual?
I suppose so. Unfortunately, I lack the power to create magical clones of myself or the skill to produce Robo-Sachi to assist me.
True, don't think I can help you on that front myself.
That said, she could at least try asking one of the others for assistance once in a while. Maybe it has something to do with her firm's set of beliefs about her responsibilities as class representative. While I'm pondering the matter, Sachi has already calmly begun her work. After stopping the hot water that's constantly trickling into the oversized bath, she begins to lightly rinse the other areas of the bathroom using the shower head. I gotta say that it looks pretty with that view over the ocean. It looks a pleasant bath. From the quick, confident movement of her hands, it's obvious that she's repeated this procedure many times. It's pretty clear that Michiru or Mane helping is a rare event. I think she's effectively been cleaning this place all by herself for a long time now. Since I did tell Sachi I'd stay out of her way, it was my intention not to interfere with her work as much as possible, but just standing here and watching my classmate does manual labor feels pretty awkward.
Hey, Sachi?
Yes?
This is just an offer, but how about I help out as well?
But cleaning this bathroom isn't your responsibility, Kasami-san.
Yeah, but I'd like to help as long as I wouldn't get in the way. What do you say?
Well, I must admit, I'm curious about the exact nature of the mysterious powers you seem to be hiding, Kasami-san. Might you be able to clean the entire bathroom with a wave of your hand? That would be quite helpful.
Unfortunately, I don't have any supernatural skills, but I do have some confidence in my basic physical capabilities.
I see. In that case, I would certainly appreciate it if you could put that strength to use.
Sure.
I'm not sure strength is the most useful skill when it comes to cleaning, but
Okay, let's get down to it. Your orders? What's wrong?
Well, the truth is, I'm not particularly good at giving others instructions.
I see. In that case, you want me to give the commands?
Yes, that would be much appreciated.
Got it. We're dividing the bathroom into 2 halves. Sachi, continue to work on that area from the entrance to the right wall. I'll resume responsibility over the left half. Our objective will be to finish the work in 15 minutes. Is that acceptable?
Yes, sir.
A good response.
Having completed the division of labor, I quietly moved my brush along the tile floor, precisely imitating Sachi's movement as I observed from earlier. Throwing yourself into a mindless task like this every once in a while isn't such a bad thing. Helps maintain your ability to concentrate. Ah! Sachi lets out a small cry and there's the sound of something toppling over. When I turn around, I find Sachi sitting on her backside on the bathroom floor. She seems somewhat dazed. You planning to clean the floor with your clothes instead of the brush? Oh my, I hadn't even thought of that possibility. The scales have fallen from my eyes. In a gesture that's growing increasingly familiar to me, Sachi nods her head vigorously several times. It seems to be a sign she's absorbing a new idea.
So, first thing first. Any injuries?
Well, I suppose the tile on the floor may have been scuffed somewhat.
That's not a problem. Let's continue the job.
I reach out my hand to Sachi, who hasn't budged from the bathroom floor during this conversation. Yes. After helping Sachi to her feet and confirming that she's alright, I return to my own work.
Whew.
But seriously, the more you look at this gigantic bathroom, the more it seems out of place in a student dormitory. True enough. It's sizable enough that even a grown man would likely get tired trying to clean it at once. Achoo! Then again, this academy is dramatically over-equipped in nearly every aspect, considering the tiny number of students currently enrolled here. The one area where they show moderate restraint is a small faculty. But even then, every class is led by a lecturer with special expertise in their particular field. Well, I suppose the economic efficiency of this place isn't really my problem. Achoo!
What's with the chirping? Do we have a sparrow trapped in here?
Well, that was to be expected given Sachi's nature. Huh? When I turn back in search of the wayward songbird, I find Sachi in an inexplicable state of undress.
What on earth are you wearing?
My panties, I suppose? She's got her bra on as well, so I think underwear would be a more precise description here.
No, see, I was trying to ask why you've taken off your maid uniform.
Ah yes, when I fell earlier, my clothes got rather wet. Given that fact, I thought I might as well make use of them as part of a more efficient cleaning method.
And so you wrapped your uniform around the head of the brush and started dragging it across the floor.
Indeed, the idea occurred to me because of your wise words earlier, Kasami-san. Good job. I suppose a clothes brush is contracting more of the floor at once than the standard version, but I'm more than a little dubious about how effective a cleaning instrument it is.
In exchange, you're standing around in your underwear in front of a member of the opposite sex. Any thoughts on that?
Is that... Achoo!
Sorry, but I'm not familiar with the language of sparrows. I'm probably making her sneezes too not adorable, but I can't make that much of a sound. I have a classmate who can.
Is that a problem?
Well, not for me. I'm not the sort to complain about a free show.
In that case, there doesn't seem to be any reason for concern.
As soon as the words are out of her mouth, Sachi gets back to work, completely nonchalant. Things have gotten troublesome all of a sudden. There may not be any major problems at present, but if, say, Amane were to walk in right now, I think there's a good possibility I'd get dragged off into an interrogation even lengthier than the one that followed the JB incident.
Well, at this point, I notice Sakaki standing frozen just inside the entrance.
Planning to take a bath in your clothes?
I don't think that's my major concern at the moment, thank you very much. Even as she spits out her retort, Sakaki's suspicious glare stays glued to Sachi and her bizarre appearance. Komine-san, why on earth are you undressed? Well, Kasami-san said it would be best. What?
Hold on, Sachi. There are a number of problems with your attempt at explaining the situation.
Then how about you enlighten me? You are a prior offender, so I hope you have a very good explanation indeed.
Prior offender? Oh, you're talking about that time she came to school in her underwear.
Yes. Sakaki reaches into the pocket of her skirt and retrieves the usual item. So she carries her self-defense stationarily with her even into bath. A truly cautious individual. Sachi could learn a thing or two from her example.
I think I've mentioned this before, but that thing isn't going to work on me. As for the reason Sachi's in her underwear, she decided this would be a more efficient method of cleaning and took off her clothes on her own initiative.
I see. Although I offered my explanation, fully expecting it to be rejected, Sakaki accepts my words surprisingly easy. It seems she's familiar enough with Sachi's lack of common sense that even a bizarre story like this sounds perfectly plausible.
So, anyway, the Grand Bath is reserved for cleaning at the moment.
At this announcement, Sakaki abruptly turns and walks out of the bathroom, her long hair streaming behind her. As for Sachi, she's already restarted her cleaning as if nothing had happened. The females in this school seem to be somewhat lacking in the shame department. Or perhaps my preconceptions on the matter are as old-fashioned as wearing a pager on your hip. Maybe this is just the way things are nowadays. It seems like I still got quite a lot to learn.
Sachi, you really are something. You're really something, in a lot of ways.
Thank you very much. I have a truly unlimited number of unresolved questions here, but one in particular stands out. Why is it that this girl can strip to her underwear in front of a man without even batting an eyelid, but blushes bright red when you give her anything resembling a compliment? Female thought processes are truly complex. In this way, a day spent in close observation of my classroom comes to an end. And starting the very next day, there's a clear change in my environment. And since we're that close to half an hour as we are right now, we will take the next part in the next episode. So, until then, take care.